The first time I saw the message, I thought someone had broken into my apartment. It was written on my bathroom mirror in what looked like condensation, the letters dripping slightly. I can hear your thoughts. I stood there in my towel, water still dripping from my hair, staring at those words. My heart hammered as I checked the apartment. Every window locked. The door bolted from the inside just as I'd left it. I lived alone on the 4th floor. There was no way anyone could have gotten in. I wiped the mirror clean and tried to convince myself it was just condensation forming randomly. But the letters had been too deliberate, too clear. That was 3 weeks ago. I should have called someone then. But who would believe me? The messages continued. Every few days, I'd find new ones. On my laptop screen when I woke up, I know what you're afraid of. Written in the dust on my bookshelf. You can't hide from me. Once impossibly, spelled out in the untouched sugar I just poured into my coffee, the granules arranged in perfect letters before dissolving. I'm getting closer. I started documenting everything. Photos, timestamps, detailed notes. I was a rational person, a data analyst. For God's sake, there had to be an explanation. Carbon monoxide poisoning? I bought a detector. It read normal. Hidden cameras? I swept my apartment twice. Nothing. But then the thoughts started. Not my thoughts. Someone else's thoughts, appearing in my mind like words whispered directly into my brain. Sarah's thinking about calling her mother. She won't. She's too proud. I froze in my kitchen, the phone in my hand. I had been about to call my mother. I was too proud to admit I needed help. How could I possibly know that about myself in such a detached, observational way? She's noticing now. Good. It's easier when they notice. Who are you? I said aloud, my voice cracking. My empty apartment offered no answer. She's speaking to me. She thinks I'm separate. She doesn't understand yet. The thoughts came with a feeling, a presence pressing against the inside of my skull. It wasn't like hearing a voice. It was like having someone else's consciousness overlapping with mine, observing my life from behind my own eyes. That night, I barely slept. Every time I closed my eyes, I felt it watching through me, thinking alongside me. She's exhausted. She'll sleep soon. And when she does, I'll be clearer. I snapped my eyes open, my breath coming in short gasps. I grabbed my phone and finally did what I'd been avoiding. I called 911. 911, what's your emergency? I think someone's in my head. I keep hearing thoughts that aren't mine, and there are messages appearing in my apartment, and I knew how it sounded even as the words spilled out. There was a pause. Ma'am, are you in immediate danger? Is someone threatening you? Yes. No, I don't know. The thoughts, they're not mine. They say they're getting closer. Ma'am, I'm going to send someone to check on you, okay? What's your address? I gave it to her, relief flooding through me. Someone would come. Someone would see that I wasn't crazy. She called the police. She thinks they'll help. They'll think she's insane, just like her father. The thought hit me like ice water. My father had schizophrenia. He died in a psychiatric facility when I was 12, convinced that demons were stealing his memories. I'd spent my whole life terrified of inheriting his condition, getting genetic testing done, seeing therapists who all assured me I showed no signs. Until now, 2 officers arrived 20 minutes later. I let them in, tried to appear calm, even though my hands were shaking. Ms. Chun, the older officer, badge reading Patterson, looked concerned but skeptical. The dispatcher said you're experiencing some kind of harassment? I showed them everything. The photos of messages, my detailed notes. I tried to explain about the thoughts, watching their expressions shift from concern to that careful neutrality people use when they think you're unstable. The male officer thinks I'm having a psychotic break. The female officer is checking for drug paraphernalia with her eyes. Neither believes me. Have you been under a lot of stress lately, Miss Chun? Officer Patterson asked gently. I know how this sounds, I said desperately. But something is happening to me. Something real. The messages, you can see them in the photos. The photos show condensation and dust patterns, the younger officer Martinez said. Sometimes we see what we're afraid of seeing. Have you considered talking to someone? Patterson added, a professional? There's no shame in it, especially if there's a family history. They knew. Somehow they knew about my father. I hadn't mentioned it. She's realizing we told them. She's starting to understand that we're not separate. We're not invading. We're emerging. How do you know about my father? I whispered. The officers exchanged glances. It came up in the initial call screening. Martinez said, but I could tell she was lying. There was no way that information would have been available that quickly. They're lying because we made them. We can do that now. We're strong enough. I backed away from them, my mind reeling. You need to leave. Ms. Chun, we really think. Get out. I screamed. Get out of my apartment. They left, but not before Patterson left a card for a crisis counselor and suggested I call my family. As the door closed, I heard Martinez radio in possible 5150. Subject exhibiting paranoid delusions. May need welfare check in 24 hours. I sank to the floor, tears streaming down my face. They thought I was crazy. Everyone would think I was crazy. Yes, that's what we need them to think. It's easier this way. What are you? I sobbed. What do you want? For the first time, the thought voice changed. It became clearer, more present, almost amused. We're not a separate entity, Sarah. That's what you don't understand. We're you. We're the part of you that's waking up. That's not possible. Your father hurt us too, but he fought it, tried to suppress us with medication and therapy. He died, never understanding. But you're smarter. You document. You analyze. You can accept the truth. I pulled myself to my feet, my mind racing. I went to my laptop and started researching. Schizophrenia, auditory hallucinations, thought insertion. Every symptom matched what I was experiencing. You're looking for a diagnosis, for a label that makes this safe and understandable. But what if we're not a disorder? What if we're an evolution? My hands froze on the keyboard. What are you talking about? Some minds develop differently. They become multiple. Not fractured, expanded. Your father had it. You have it. But unlike him, you have the chance to integrate us rather than resist us. This is insane, I whispered. But even as I said it, I felt something shift inside me. A barrier softening. The presence that felt invasive now felt almost familiar. We've been here since you were a child. You just called us imagination then. Remember your imaginary friend, Sophie? That was us. You've been suppressing us for years, afraid of becoming like your father. But suppression causes a discord. The fear, the messages were us trying to break through. I did remember Sophie, my constant companion until I was 8, when my father's condition worsened and my mother told me I was too old for pretend friends. I'd forced myself to stop hearing Sophie's voice, stopped having conversations with her. My hands trembled as I opened a new document. If you're really part of me, prove it. Tell me something only I would know. The real reason you became a data analyst. You wanted to understand patterns, find logic in chaos, because you were terrified of the chaos in your own mind. You checked door locks exactly 3 times. You count steps when you're anxious. You never told your therapist about the voice you sometimes hear when you're falling asleep because you were afraid she'd put you on medication like your father. I closed my eyes. It was all true. What happens now? I asked the empty room, not caring anymore if I looked crazy. You stop fighting us. You let us integrate. And you discover what you're actually capable of. The police won't understand. No one will understand. No, they'll think you're ill. That's fine. Let them think it. Some truths aren't meant to be shared. But you need to decide, Sarah. You can go to that crisis counselor, get diagnosed, spend your life on antipsychotics trying to silence us. Or you can embrace what you are. I sat in my apartment as evening turned to night, feeling the presence of my mind settle into something less foreign. The thoughts that came now felt less like intrusions and more like another perspective, another angle on my own consciousness. Was this madness, or was this something else entirely? I opened my laptop and deleted all my documentation. Every photo, every note, every timestamp. If I was going to do this, truly integrate this other awareness, I couldn't leave a trail of evidence of my deterioration. Smart. You're learning. I don't trust you, I said aloud. I don't trust this. You don't have to trust us. We're not separate enough to betray you. We are you, Sarah. We always have been. I looked at the crisis counselor's card Officer Patterson had left. I could call tomorrow. I could get help, get medication, try to make this stop. Or you could see where this goes. See what we can become together. My phone buzzed. A text from my mother. The police called me. Sweetheart, please call me back. I'm worried about you. I stared at the message, then at my reflection in the darkened window. For just a moment, I could swear I saw two faces overlapping the glass, both mine, but not quite the same. Okay, I whispered, making my choice. Show me. The presence of my mind expanded, and suddenly I could see things I'd never noticed before. The patterns in the city lights outside. The mathematical probability of each car's movement. The emotional undercurrents of my mother's text message. Not just worry, but guilt and fear and love, all woven together in a complex web I could suddenly parse with perfect clarity. This was either the beginning of my descent into madness or the beginning of something else entirely. Either way, the police couldn't help me. They would never understand. Some transformations happen in the dark, where no one can see them. Some awakenings look exactly like breakdowns from the outside. And some of us learn to live with the voices in our heads, not because we're brave, but because silencing them would mean silencing part of ourselves. I never called my mother back that night. Good choice, the voice whispered. Now let's see what we can really do. I smiled at my reflection in the window, and both faces smiled back,